2. We are live. Hey folks, how's it going? It is Friday, not Friday. I get confused because I'm normally doing this on Friday. Well, not for a while actually. It's Wednesday. Try and jump for the week. It's a Wednesday. We're doing game dev on Wednesdays these days, so it's game dev Wednesday. Working on our silly little game about throwing things at castles or noblemen's houses. They're kind of castles in that sense. As we're working on that today, hope you've all had a good week so far. My week's been pretty decent. Been a bit tired though. So hopefully I can kind of finish the stream at a reasonable time tonight. I usually get quite engrossed and want to carry on going for a bit longer, but I'll try and have a decent cut off, and we'll sort of finish the stream so I can kind of actually rest. We'll see where I go. I'm enjoying game dev and learning how Unity works and how Blender works and stuff. So it's a good experience for me, and hopefully it's a good experience for you coming along on the journey. So we'll switch over to the full screen. Carry on where we were before. So we've made another generator box, another spawner, if you will. That's going to spawn a pile of bricks. So we've got a spawner over here that spawns a brick wall with alternating position of bricks as it goes up. Very proud of that. I can actually procedurally build a wall in code. But we're now going to try and make a pile of bricks. So we're going to have to, firstly we're going to just generate a set of bricks just randomly within the floor space of this cube, this block. I'll switch over to Visual Studio. So I left myself a note. These are always useful. When you're doing code, try to write yourself notes on what you are planning to do in our sections. I'm planning to do a random number generator, and you can come back to it and go, yes, perfect, that's exactly what I was doing. So bring over my browser, because I'm going to want to look up C# random number. How do I generate random numbers in C#? So random number generator. So random number generator dot get int 32. I suppose, does it need to be an int? Doesn't necessarily need to be an int. Doesn't need to be an int. New random is random class. Six numbers between 1, 6, 0. Pseudo random, of course, yeah. You can never get a true random number generator in any kind of coding system, because it always has to follow some kind of patterning. And typically, you tell it a computer program to generate a set of random numbers, and then you run the same code again, and you always get the same set of numbers, unless you do some jiggery pokery and use the current time, like take what the time is right now, do some mathematics, then generate a number, which you guarantee, unless you run it exactly the same time, then you're not going to get the same set of numbers. So oh my God, someone's actually detailed out a full thing there. We don't quite want that. So we need to let's copy that bit of code there. Copy that. So we want a random number generator. So we have a random. So interesting. It knows that it's a class. It cannot create instance of a static class random. Why not? Can we fix this? Because either way it's going to be a problem. Maybe I need to look at specifically Unity. Maybe it's slightly different for Unity rather than just standard C# for some reason. Let's have a look. So Unity random number. So random.range. Random.range and you give a range. Okay. Try that. So x is equal to random.range that's going to be xu, comma, xl. That seems to be okay. That's exactly what I was after. And then we do exactly the same for the z. Let's change all of those to z's. What we do, for my sake, at the very least, we'll drop these comments into there as well. So we don't want to necessarily reduce the zone just yet. So get generate brick location. And that spawns the brick, which is fine. So where is our update? Our update is here. So we don't want to do every frame. What we suppose we could do. We want a count. We want a maximum count of bricks. So that's good. Private. It's going to be an integer because it's going to be a whole number. We can't have half a brick. So max brick count, and let's make that 0 to start with. We're going to serialize that field so we can see it. Let's make it 50 for now. 50 is a nice number. So if there's we need a brick count and a max brick count, don't we really? let's go private int brick count, make that equal 0, and we'll serialize that as well so we can see it. So if brick count is less than max brick count, generate brick location. But then brick count plus plus do that. That satisfies that. Private number reduce zone. It's not used. Yeah, it's going to be used eventually. Make field read only. Which one's that? Yeah, I suppose that should be made read only. So I'm not going to. No, I did not want to read about read only. Let's close all these. Yeah, so that just makes that happy. And reduce zone will get used once we determine how many bricks are gonna constitute to a layer. So we don't know how many bricks will be in a layer at the moment. So I'm happy with that. It's just based on recently removed code. Okay, just take off the presets on them. Keeps it happy, keeps it clean. Save all that, minimize our code editor. Reloading. Cool. So you're all happy. We'll save Unity as well. And we'll run the game. Love how the brick was spinning there. The thing is, I could just do it as a. I don't think I need to do it on the update, but maybe spawning everything in one go would probably slow it down. So having it on the update means it's only spawning one per frame. But if we look at that, let's pause that. That's 50 bricks there. That looks a reasonable amount of rubble. But I think we need to at least double that. So let's go back into here and make that 100. Make that a fixed update, I suppose. Yeah, private void, fixed update. Alright, let's see how many bricks we get. How much coverage we have. Now, the thing is, I'm going to have to try and tie it to a metric of how big this is, because this is going to be a variable size. So I suppose we can find out the optimal amount of bricks for this particular size of box. We can then calculate based on the area roughly how many bricks we're going to want. Now I could make my life a little bit easier, I suppose. So size. Can make it 4 by 4 by 4. So based on 4 by 4 by 4, is 100 bricks sufficient for that particular floor space? I'd say so. Yeah, I wouldn't want any more than 100 bricks in that particular floor space. Now, is that even too many bricks for... Because we only wanted to cover the floor, and we've got some bricks already sat on top. So we could even put that down to 80. Hi, Southern Moats. Hey, Lisa. How's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Let's make this 80, because 80 works with the numbers. There's those cool emotes. Awesome emotes there. Doing alright, glad to hear. Do you like Man of War? I think so. They're not a band I listen to, but I don't think I don't like them. If that makes sense. I think I've listened to Man of War and I've not got an opinion. If you don't, you are afraid of yourself. Okay. How's it going, Jeffrey? It's good to see you. Eating pigs in blanket, but since I don't eat meat, they're veggie hot dogs. Nice. Veggie pigs in blankets. Nice. I do like a pig in blanket. There is a random Man of War fan that very passionately, almost in tears, screams that everyone who does not like Man of War is afraid of himself. I had to think of that, yeah. Afraid of yourself, that... How could one be afraid of themselves? In what context, though? Afraid of your potential? Afraid of what you may do? Afraid of your own passions? So are you afraid of yourself or nah? Yeah, maybe at one stage I might consider myself afraid of myself, but I'm very much at peace with myself. I have no fear. And I believe I like Man of War. I'm thinking this number is probably a good number here. So 80. So if we come out of that. So if we're saying max brick count is 80 and it's 4 by 4. So 4 4 is 16. Let's do some mathematics. Here's a little bit of mathematics. So 80 divided by 16 is 5. So if we take the width by the depth times by 5, that might be a good metric. So we have the width and depth here, I think. Well, we can calculate the width and the depth. They're doing good, still tired all the time, but I'm drawing a lot and making a lot of progress. We also played the last Airbender game today. Oh, nice. Evening hugs. Hey Max, how's it going, dude? It's good to see you. It was fun spending Saturday together looking at Pokemon cards. That was cool. I enjoyed it. Hope you've had a good week so far. So probably should write a small function. Yes, because it comes after all this stuff here. So maybe here. They can't stop us. Let them try. For heavy metal we would die. Oh, okay, yes. I know that. I know those lyrics. I think I had a friend who was very much into Man of War. So when we were camping at a festival, he was playing it a lot. Private void calc max brick. Calc max bricks? Calc max bricks. That's a bit of a mouthful, but that should go fine there. Just to let you know, PokeDean has released his video on YouTube of last weekend. Oh, so I'm guessing we should be on that unless we're left on the cutting room floor. But I have to scan through that so we can see our faces. Yeah, I enjoyed meeting PokeDean. He seems a pretty cool dude. I'll dump it on the Discord. Thank you. Saves me trying to find it. I did look through some of his videos. I went, oh, it's pretty cool. And same with Chloe, look through some of her videos as well. I might be the only 90s kid and the only weeb that has literally no connection to anything Pokemon. That's possible. It's a phenomenon that captures a lot of 90s kids. Because it's kind of like entry-level weeb stuff, I suppose. Because you get into Pokemon, but you won't necessarily think of it as anime. You wouldn't necessarily connect with the Japanese culture. Never played it when the series was on. It was just background for me. Preferred Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh. So, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! I felt was a little bit more leaning into anime. Same with Digimon, was a little bit more anime compared to Pokemon. Pokemon is very much a soft kind of anime, in this kind of culturally. But even then, sort of Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh didn't necessarily feel as anime. But Yu-Gi-Oh especially, I think, was probably more of an anime. Like the art style and stuff made you instantly think of it. Some of us, don't know if it was on TV. Yeah, so yeah, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all on TV for us. Flint the Time Detective. Not sure about that one. Tried rewatching Pokemon a while back. Wasn't as good as remembered. Yeah, it's not quite as exciting to go back and watch the original series. It's still kind of cool, but I much prefer when you play the games, watching the anime. You kind of think, well, why are they doing this? Like, I know this Pokemon has this certain powers, and they could easily do it with that. And sort of you think of plot holes in the story based on how you know the Pokemon from the games are. So yeah, it's not quite as enjoyable as an adult watching the Pokemon anime. But I've not actually honestly watched it since then. I have the movie. It's probably not downstairs. Have a couple of the Pokemon movies, and the writing in the movies is pretty good. The series was kind of slow in times. It was like one single plot point per episode, which is understandable, and a very basic overarching story that connects the episodes. But ultimately, it's just they're going somewhere. Team Rocket is there. They want to cause some havoc, steal a Pokemon. Then they succeed in what they're doing, as well as keeping Team Rocket from stealing anything. And then next episode. So it wasn't gripping storyline, but then it was designed for children, really. Whereas I suppose things like Yu-Gi-Oh! Was more focused on the battling and obviously around the card game and stuff, so all of these things kind of point towards toys. A lot of the kids animation stuff is what can we make an animated story about that is easily translatable into a toy line. One that I saw the other day was it something like Battle Cars? Can't remember what it was called. But the whole premise is they have cars that fight each other, and they call upon these cars like they just summon the cars and they battle with the cars. But then of course the cars were made as toys, and you could battle with the toy cars. So that entire thing was about battling toy cars. It was quite fun to watch. Now I remember wanting those cars because you had the bad guys had like organic things, like sort of this plant thing sprouting out the top of the car that would bite, but then the good guys had mechanical things and sort of would take on the things. But yeah, that was all very much about toys. Started reading Dragon Ball from the beginning. Start yesterday. I've seen the series enough to hear sounds when I read pages. That's cool when you can do that. Start sort of putting the characters in there. But so yeah, things like Dragon Ball wasn't made to sell toys. It was just a story. I kind of like sort of understanding power, I suppose, and saving the world. It's your typical superhero type story, I suppose, Dragon Ball. There's a lot of other kind of anime aimed at children. Because I suppose Dragon Ball's not necessarily aimed at children, it's just accessible to children. I swear, a lot of these start off as manga, I suppose, and then they get translated into anime. Manga has a lot of nudity and sex jokes. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's not as accessible to children, but when they translate it into anime. Wasn't used to that in Dragon Ball. No, I suppose you wouldn't. But I know like things like manga is like a major media. It's kind of like one of the most kind of consumed medias in Japan. Hey Dealer, how's it going? Good to see you over on Twitch again. Much appreciate having you here. But yeah, a lot of those things were definitely aimed at children. But certainly the manga wasn't. I enjoyed a lot of like manga translated into anime because it has a bit more substance to the stories. I'm not sure if Pokemon was a manga. I know they made manga of Pokemon, but I don't know whether I think it was a game. Was it a game first and then an anime then manga, or maybe a game then manga then anime? Twitch has a better pop-out player. Ah, that's good to know. I don't think it's the original media. Okay. It's game first, yeah. Game. Yeah, the game definitely came first, and then I don't know whether it was like print or anime first after that. That sounds like Jason the Wheeled Warriors. Ah, yes. I think that's right, Max. Dragon Ball did start as manga, yeah. I know they to my knowledge with Dragon Ball, yeah, that's where you get the entire like abridged anime, because I know not everything in anime is in manga. They kind of made more story that wasn't originally in print. The kind of filler episodes. But I think that's because they were waiting for more manga to be written. So they just kind of made episodes up. But yeah, Jason the Wheeled Warriors. Yeah, I like that show. It wasn't a very long running show to my knowledge, at least what I saw broadcast. But it was very much about combating cars. Fillers are so annoying. Yeah, once you realise they're there, you kind of tell what's filler and what's the original story. But you get it, anything that's translated from a printed form to kind of the screen, if it's done at roughly the same time as more printed story is being produced, then at some point it's going to be waiting on the print. And you might get a decent filler for the story. It's like one more kind of recent thing is the Good Omens TV translation, because that was a book, Good Omens book. There's a book 1 and a book 2. And the TV series, they made series 1 to follow book 1, but then series 2 as a filler, and then series 3 was going to be book 2. But unfortunately, due to recent events with the writer, season 3, which follows book 2, is going to be like a single feature-length episode covering the whole of book 2, which is a bit sad. But as long as it's decent. Bleach is like 45% filler and 366 total episodes. Ooh. See, I like Bleach. I started watching a bit of Bleach, but 366 episodes. So that's the problem I find with anime. It's a lot. It's a lot of dedication to kind of follow the story. Same like Dragon Ball. I don't know. Dragon Ball's got to have several hundred episodes, I'm sure. Then if you watch the abridged, you kind of cut out all the filler, and you just get the core original manga stories. The monster mines were organic life forms that had plant-based weapons, and the Lightning League metal-based weapons. Jace and the Wheeled Warriors only lasted 1 season. Wow, I thought it was short. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the monster mines. Yeah, organic monster-like life forms. Yeah, plant things. And then they just had like these metal things that would fight with them. But you can tell that entire cartoon was designed to sell the Wheeled Warrior toys. And it worked because I wanted to buy them. Well, I didn't have money at that age, but I wanted them purchased. So we need to find. So let's put a couple of small variables in here. So float width equals max x minus min x, and float depth. I might have got this the wrong way around, not that it really particularly matters. Max z minus min z, and that is width times by depth should be capitals, of course, then times by 5, and then of course a semicolon. Mas should be a max in there, and then to understand it we'll put brackets around that. What's it not happy with now? Oh, it needs to be 5.50. And then round it. I have to round it, aren't I? One season, 65 episodes. Mazed. Yeah, thank you for that. That's what all it's is. It's always one character type wrong. Mazex. I'm pretty sure that's a car, isn't it? "65 episodes. That's a lot of episodes for a single season, I suppose. So that's going to give me a number, and I just need to round it down. So let's go math. Let's go round it up. Math but ceiling, and bracket all of that. Can't go float. So it returns a float. Oh, this isn't math F, isn't it? Let's put a float in here for now, and then we work about float flat. Can't type tonight. Float MB, and we'll just go MB equals, and then we'll move this up a line. Let's do that for the moment. Okay, so it's happy for the moment, but probably better still, we grab that and put it straight in to here. And delete that. Okay, so now you convert MB, which is a float, to max brick count as an integer. I've done that before, I'm sure. Let's have a quick look on. So C# float to int. What's what they're trying to achieve here? Any bands on the Download Festival that you really want to see? There's a few on there. Let's have a quick look. I've not properly made a list or anything. Let's have a looky. Actually, I've got it on my phone. I don't need to bring up Discord, do I? So I'd like to see Green Day. I've not seen Green Day before. Let's see what they're like. I know you said they live they can be a bit disappointing, but yeah, Green Day, Korn, Weezer, Jimmy Eat World. I'd like to see what the Sex Pistols are like with Frank Carter. Fucking love Korn, rah. Yeah, I absolutely love Korn. I've been into Korn since I was at school. But yeah, absolutely love Korn. But yeah, Sex Pistols with Frank Carter. I would like to see what that's like. If they're no good, I'll walk away. But I know Frank Carter's a good vocalist. Korn is always fun. They are. I've seen him quite a few times now. Korn. Only at Download. I've never actually gone to see Korn in their own gig. But yeah, I'll see Sex Pistols with Frank Carter. Within Temptation, I always quite enjoy. The Darkness could be a bit of fun. Steel Panther, I know is fun. I've seen them a few times. McFly, be quite funny to see McFly. Although Busted played last year and it was absolutely rammed. Like, they were in a tent and there was people several meters outside of the tent trying to still watch them. So we went, I'm not that interested in Busted to stand in a very tight crowd to watch them. So it depends what they do for McFly. Who? Do you know McFly? Pop punk. Oh, the tent story. Busted. Wasn't paying attention there. So Busted. Never heard of that. Hope they get McLoving to download. Yeah, but Busted are like McFly. I think they're kind of like another band around the same sort of time. And when both Busted and McFly kind of stopped touring for a bit, members from each band make a supergroup and they called it McBusted. So they had like a little supergroup for I've heard of that, McBusted, yeah. But yeah, McBusted was a supergroup between McFly and Busted. But yeah, Busted played last year's downloads and they got McFly this time. You've heard that McBusted are reforming. Oh. I suppose it makes sense if both Busted and McFly are now like doing gigs again, then they can't necessarily have the entire band available at all times, and if members of McBusted are available, then they're still out there performing. I'd like to see Apocalyptica because I've seen them before. They're quite good. Cradle of Filth could be fun to see. I've seen them before. Lorna Shore I enjoyed last year, so could see them again. Airborne are playing. I know Airborne are good. Alien Ant Farm I'd like to see. CKY I reckon they could be fun to see again. Seen them at least twice now. Eagles of Death Metal, I'd like to see them. Me First and the Gimme Gimmies, got to go and see them again. Meshuggah, definitely want to see Meshuggah again. go on the smaller listing here. Did I see him on here? Kitty? I'd like to see Kitty. That's about it. I know a few other bands, and I'll probably enjoy the other bands, but I'm not as enthusiastic. Like Don Broco, and they're quite good. Same with Sixth. Both of my Valentine are okay. But I won't cry if I don't see him. There's lots of other bands I've never heard of, but I'll have to listen to them to see if they're any good. I saw Airborne Rambling Man 2016. Yeah, I remember seeing Airborne with you. Was it you that recommended him, Max? Hope Max Sabbath will appear. I haven't seen Max Sabbath do anything for ages. Yeah, Max Sabbath is fun. If you like punk, go Turbo Negro. Ooh, I should check them out. Yeah, definitely like punk. So, but I'm gonna do what I do every year and listen to all of the bands, or at least most of the bands that are playing, either on like Spotify or YouTube. So I go, well, yes, no. They go, oh, I like that sound. I'll put them down as a maybe of like. I think most of their known song is "All My Friends Are Dead." I might know that. I think I did. You probably did, Max. If I went to Rambling Man, you probably recommended most of the bands that we saw there. Might have heard it someplace. Yeah, I might have done. If I listen to it, I'll probably recognise it. Yeah, I'm going to listen to all the bands because there's people that go, I'll only go and see the bands that I know and the bands I like. And you go, well, the whole point of a festival for me is like, well, you've already paid the ticket. Everything is free now, well, bands wise. So you might as well go and find a band that you've never heard of. The only thing is, I'll listen to them beforehand to save me the hassle of getting there and then not liking the sound. If I like the sound, I go, okay, I'll go and check them out. Because it might be a case of like, there's a gap on the schedule that none of the bands that I already know are playing. Go, well, there's this band that we've listened to online. They seem quite cool. Let's go and listen to them for an hour. And then we'll go to the band that we know we do like. If you just go in for the big things, you can't find joy in the other ones. Exactly, dear. There's too many people that, every time, it's a guaranteed, every time Download Festival announce bands that are playing, people go, don't like them. Why do you book them for? They're no good. No one likes them. They go, well, clearly some people do, because they only book bands that are selling tickets to gigs. If they aren't selling tickets, it's unlikely that Download will book them. So somebody likes them, and enough somebodies like them for them to be booked. It's like I've not really heard any Sleep Token before. I know of Sleep Token. I've heard of them. But I can't think of any of their music. But apparently they've been doing sellout gigs, sort of quite a few sellout gigs recently. So that's why they're booked, I suppose. So I can understand. And I'll have to listen to some Sleep Token to see, is it my thing? If it's not, maybe there's a band on the second stage or the third stage. Or maybe it's just a time for me to go and chill. So you don't have to listen to every band. I'm on the therapist mode because one of my digital friends is in a rough place, rough mind space. Sorry for the inconvenience this may cause. Oh, no. Do what you need for your friends. I've been helping a friend the past week or so because he's not been in a good way. But that's what friends are for, really. You help people. Yeah, they big. They're like very heavy and very popish, accessible at the same time. That's perfect headliner, I suppose, because you don't want something super niche as your main headline act. Because typically the way that download works is the headline act has the most space and the prime slot, so most people will be going into the bigger arena space for this band, and you don't want half the field empty. So you need to have to fill that field up. And typically most other bands are finished playing by the time they're halfway through their set. Like halfway through the headliner's set, there's no one else playing. So most people will be there. Or they don't like them, which is fair enough. They go back to their tent. Maybe they go and find some food for the evening. Maybe they start drinking for the evening. Start the party soon. But yeah, it's like not all the headline acts everyone likes. But then that's why you have 5 stages. But I'll check them out. If I like them, then I'll go and see them. But if I really like them, I'll be there to the last song. Like Slipknot, every time Slipknot has played, I've been there to the point that Corey Taylor is like thanking the crowd and sort of saying his goodbyes and then walking off stage before I even move. Other bands are like, well, their last song's on, let's make a move. And we can still hear it by the time we've got right to the back of the crowd. And then they do the last drum hit and we're already by the exit. And then we're off. Smaller bands are more fun because you can interact with them. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can... Sort of, you can get this real kind of vibe going. And they enjoy that. They go, well, these are the people that are going to push the band forward. So they put time into them. And bigger bands like Slipknot, for instance, still try to interact with their fans, but there's so many fans, you can't get the personal experience out of them. But they try. They go, well, like Corey Taylor will speak to the crowd and go, well, you guys are awesome. Every time I play on this stage, I am blown away by how many people are standing in front of me. And he's genuinely thankful for it. It's like, well, you guys didn't have to be here, but I enjoy standing here whether you are or not. But you guys make the experience. So it kind of makes a difference of the type of bands they are. But yeah, smaller bands definitely, you get the whole kind of vibe going and fun chaos. But I'm going to enjoy it. I've already got tickets. Nix and I have already got tickets booked. I haven't finished paying for the tickets. Because you're looking at about £300 per ticket. So they're not cheap. But that's just the way things go these days. Like going back about 10 years, so about £190 a ticket 10 years ago. But that's 10 years ago. But how much of the money you're paying is actually going to people's pockets that are playing and stuff, how much it's going to sponsors and all that kind of stuff. I've been looking at this code and it's not the code I want. Yeah, I'll put the poster in my Discord. So if anyone has any recommendations of bands that they see on that list and go, yes, I would see those, as Jeffrey already has put his kind of top view. Math.round. What we could do, convert.toInt. Let's try that. Convert.toInt. So let's go convert. Oh. I hear squirrels walking on my roof. What are the squirrels on the roof for? Are they planning something? Or is it just going to be int? Can you shriek to scare them? I think that'd be funny. And the squirrels go, "What the hell is going on?" I hear shrieking from below. Try pass. That's a string, we don't want to do that. I think eating now are big trees with falling nuts, etc. They eat only eat the insects. Okay, so there's probably a lot of food on the roof. Gotta leave the house at hopefully like 4 AM to do one of my silly shrieks at full volume with no societal judgment. You, where you are, Dealer, is that quite isolated? Or is most people be too asleep to kind of be bothered? It is quite freeing to just let out a large, loud sound. Because it's not something you can just generally do. 9 kilometers away from the city. Oh wow. Yeah, we can just kind of like shriek or scream or shout. That kind of release of energy can be quite therapeutic. Barely any infrastructure here though. I suppose it's kind of like you weigh up, don't you? You go, well, isolation and kind of seclusion, which can be great for sort of not having to deal with people, generally speaking, and stuff around you. But then equally, amenities and connectivity is also lacking. But you find that medium and go, okay, this is enough isolation and seclusion versus connectivity for me to be truly happy. I couldn't live more than 10 minutes from a town. I don't mind living away from a town, but as long as I can get somewhere in 10 minutes in a car, I'm not too bothered. But I wouldn't want to be like an hour away from somewhere where it had shops. Which is when Nix and I went on our vacation, we were 10 minutes away from the nearest town, which is great because it was so quiet where we were staying, and like hardly any lights. You can just look up at the sky and see the stars, and we saw the northern lights, the aurora borealis, because there's no light pollution. It was great. But you get in the car, 10 minutes down the road, get food, get petrol, all the things you need, and then drive 10 minutes back and you're by yourself again. Quiet. Away from it all. Thinking of going back to that place, because that was a very nice place to stay, that was. But if you didn't have a car, you would struggle for where that was. There's no other transport. There's no bus. Maybe a taxi you'd have to get. But I couldn't do without my car. Like, having a car to me is my connection to everything. Without it, I'm kind of stuck. Just noted Sims in the lineup. Yeah, I saw them. Are they any good? I don't know Sim. They made a bunch of songs for Attack on Titan. They're great. Oh, okay. I shall definitely listen to them then. Is it just int x? Is it int? Is it just int? Do we just go, or is it brackets int mb? Is it as simple as that? It's as simple as that, apparently. You just put int in brackets and it goes, consider this is an int. Okay, I've considered it's an int. It's now an int. So calc max bricks. We'll pop that up here after doing that. Can you get away with using a Dragon Ball as ammo? Oh, that'll be a lawsuit. Now, if I can make it so it, when you see it, you go, that's a Dragon Ball, but it is not actually a Dragon Ball, then you can get away with that. But if I put an actual Dragon Ball, they go, well, that image is probably property of whoever owns Dragon Ball. I can certainly put it in there as a secret, as long as not too many people find out about it. But I could have it a slightly different colour. Rather than it being orange with stars, I could have it blue with moons on it. And you go, well, that looks very much like a Dragon Ball if you change those bits around. As long as you're not selling anything, you can put anything, yeah. Orange with pentagrams, I could put pentagrams in there. But yeah, but as long as not selling it, they can't claim anything off me because I've not taken money using their IP. They could still be a bit iffy about it. They could say, well, come on, get rid of it. But they couldn't sue for damages because I've not made any money. They could tell me to get rid of it. They could go, just knock it off. More like a cease and desist. But I wouldn't get into trouble. I would just probably get a letter if they're really unhappy about it, going, we've spotted this, take it out please. So it wouldn't be a lawsuit, it would just be like a letter, an official letter saying just reason there's so much NSFW with Nintendo property is because they can't actually do anything about it. Oh, I suppose so. Depends if they can't find the source of it. But yeah, I could put a Dragon Ball in, and if they decide to come for me, like a small indie developer, take it out. But I certainly wouldn't sell the game with a Dragon Ball in it. But like I'll do like a free version. I saw someone on Webtoon that literally made screenshots of Dragon Ball anime, put it in their own text balloons with own text, claiming they rewrote their own version of the story. They're banned quite fast, yeah. The story has one copyright, as far as I'm aware. The story has one copyright, like the text, the conversations, and then the image of Goku is its own copyright. and all the other characters. So you've got two kind of levels there. They also claim they drew it themselves and used colour instead of black and white like OG. Obviously anime shots. Yeah, you can't get away from that. Come on. The thing is, you would expect people on Webtoon to be artists, like actual artists. You can also copyright claim code. Yeah, you can. You can say this particular bit of code is copyrighted. Like I could say this arrangement of code in its entirety is copyrighted, but I couldn't copyright that. That isn't unique enough. Not all on Webtoon. There's a big influx of completely AI generated comics. People are asking money for it. So that's annoying. Like you put barely any effort into, because it's supposed to be an art form. Like I know AI on the tiniest level has an element of art to it, as in conceptual, but not on the same level as actually creating an image with your mind and your skill. Like if you've not had to orchestrate like the colours and the shapes and sort of, then yeah, it's completely different. I would rather read a complete beginner's first comic than something made by the most advanced AI in the market. Yeah, because at least it's come from the heart. It's someone's mind and their imagination. That has been brought into the world. It's come from them. And yeah, if you typed into an AI generator to come up with an image, the concept of the image is yours. You've come up with the concept of the image. A man standing in a forest holding a sword in the air. That's the concept, but the visual of it, of this kind of handsome looking man with waving hair, with a glistening sword, so that actual visual image you did not create. But the idea, as on paper, you come up with, but not the image. So unless your comic is literally panels of description, then it's not your art. Which is entirely fine. You could say, well, in this panel there's a man standing in the forest holding a sword. It's just black text on a white box. That's as much art as you put into it. Like, even with this, with what I'm writing here, like, this code is a spawner, a generator. But I've personally decided through the code how it is going to generate the objects in the game. I've designed the objects, I've decided how it's going to generate them, and then the code runs through and I've written the code. I've just not typed it in, make a load of bricks appear. So every single part of this, despite me not physically placing the bricks in the game, is still my art form. When DJ Hojunky has the cameo in the new comic, we'll take over that scene's idea from the old one. That's on hiatus. It will be no AI 100% drawn by me. Exactly. But yeah, well, I don't think any AI generator will have any idea who DJ Hojunky is. So that becomes a unique character. Like, AI generators can't come up with a unique character. They can only make something that is an amalgamation of characters that already exist, and it's a very much an approximation, a very centered, middle of the ground. This is a generic looking man, a very good looking man, but it's just a man. There's no distinct feature about them. Playing a real vinyl set, by the way, no digital stuff, real old school. That'd be cool. No, not that there's anything wrong with digital, but vinyl is so much cooler. Proper old school DJ. So calculating bricks. So I've done this code now. So what this code I've just written is going to look at this box. It's going to look at the space at the bottom here. It's going to look at this square and then calculate a approximate amount of bricks required to do a rough covering of the floor of this square. So if I run this code now, we'll get an approximated covering of the floor. Which we do. We've got an approximate covering of the floor. Now, in theory, because it's now a generative in a purer sense, we could say, actually this box is bigger now. We rerun the code and it should then calculate extra bricks. Probably too many bricks there. Let's have a look. It has filled the bottom there. Maybe my calculations aren't quite as they should be, or maybe they are. Maybe we're fine. I read that Psytrance DJs in Goa mostly use tape instead of vinyl because the area was very dusty and that would get into the grooves. That's pretty cool. I've seen like homemade tape kind of DJ function like machines. Otherwise, I know otherwise you'd have two standard off-the-shelf tape machines. Put tape in, play. And if you modify them, you can actually adjust the voltage running through the tape player, so it slows it down, speeds it up. I don't know how they did it, but it worked for them, and Psytrance scene is big. That's cool. But yeah, I know if you modify a tape player and put a potentiometer that adjusts the voltage to make it go faster or slower, you could effectively match the speed of two different songs, and it would work like it would with vinyl. It's just a bit harder to rewind back to the beginning. With a vinyl, you lift your needle, drop it back at the beginning. With a tape, you'd have to rewind the actual tape. Make him use a circular saw blade instead of vinyl and justify saying it's heavy metal. Now, if you could cut grooves of music into a saw blade and then play that, that would be pretty metal. You'd also be very careful not to chop your fingers when you're trying to, yeah. Just avoid the edges, yeah. It'd be hard trying to push it after that. Make sure you're lifting your, yeah. Be DJ Stubby, you have no fingers left. Right, okay, so let's do another test. Let's make this box a bit bigger again. Let's move it this way and see how this looks. I might have not got the right calculation. See, that looks like it's too many bricks now. That seems to be bigger and bigger. I shared a exhumed shaped vinyl LP in your server. Ooh, okay. Oh, thanks for dropping those links in there, Max. I shall check those after stream. Oh, that's cool. I like that. So it is a circular saw, but it's obviously a vinyl cut to look like a circular saw. That is cool. I'm not sure it's really relevant anymore, but the SSL TSS of your site's expired. Ooh, I haven't checked that for a while. Thanks for checking out, dealer. I had to think of it when you said saw blade vinyl. See, at the local store, didn't buy it myself. Yeah, thanks for posting that. Yeah, I haven't checked my site for a little while. Which one's that? hugjunkie.co.uk. Yeah, it's been a while since I keep planning to actually do something with that website. I've been paying for it for about a couple of years now. Oh yeah, it's not secure. Yeah, I should get that fixed. I need to think of what I should have on there. I'll probably like links to my YouTube, social media, and I was hoping to actually have my stream on there, but it's a bit iffy with yeah, they had a thing and they've taken it away again. So I'll probably just have to have my Twitch maybe. Just kind of broadcasting on the page. Because yeah, Restream itself used to have a widget that you could just broadcast without actually having to have a Twitch or YouTube account. Links to my Twitch and comic would be good. Yeah, I could probably put associated links on there as well. Like my joint website with my friend Ollie, we had like links to all kinds of friends' stuff. Now, not touched that website for ages. But yeah, if you can think of anything that you reckon I should have on my website, what you'd like to see, I'd certainly put it on there. But yeah, I'll put links to that YouTube, social media. Link to your MySpace. I do have a MySpace. I don't use it, but I do have a MySpace. The myspace.com/DJ Hug Junkie. See if it's still there. It's still there. Oh god, yeah. Same, I'm not. You're not that old. Also have a Space Hay site that captures the feel of 2000. Yeah, I think I signed up to Space Hay. I went, oh, it is just old MySpace. Yeah, myspace.com/DJ Hug Junkie Music. It's still on there. There's still my old songs on here. Do they play? I don't think they play anymore. I think they might have broken. The thing is, all the images and stuff that I put on there are just kind of gone now. Yeah, none of the songs play. I've got all my songs on my SoundCloud though. I could probably link my SoundCloud, to be honest. I've not put anything on SoundCloud for years. Yeah, none of the songs I uploaded to my MySpace work anymore. I remember you were on Spotify. I can't find it anymore. On Spotify. Am I on Spotify? You might have found me as a user on Spotify, I suppose. Can't find me on Space A. I'm sure I signed up to Space A. Let's have a look. There's something running on the roof. Can't see it. Oh no. Let's log into my Space A. Probably squirrels, yeah. Okay, I've not verified my email address, that's why. I'm on Space A, but I haven't verified it. Let's verify my email address. We'll send you a mail one-time link. Please select a graphic that matches one on the left. That's one. I am now human, yay! Send me an email. Email sent. It was like Hug Name Junkie. I remember you had some music posts. I can't find it. Oh, I have to see. Right, let's verify my my Space A email address. Space for friends. Yeah. Oh, this takes me back. I remember using MySpace when it looked like Space A. Like, copy the message. Oh, very nice. I like your Space A. They're trying to get you to click on weird link so you can buy the NFTs. Oh no, it's too late. I bought the NFT. Oh, you even got the online thing. That's cool. How do you have people as friends on here? Stop selling NFTs. Oh, add to friends. There it is. I need to click the picture again. Send request. My crypto wallet was on the old Mac. Oh. Sell nudes now. Yeah, nudes probably get you a bit more money. Be right back, Aussie Food Time, okie dokie. Well, I've sent you a friend request. Probably my first friend on Space A. Start selling copper of reduced quality like the and that's selling copper. There's still a bit of value in copper. I have two friends. Who's my other friend? Oh, Space A itself. and Anne, whoever Anne is. Is that the same as Tom? Yeah, so Anne seems to be the Tom of Space A. That makes sense. They have not even put a profile picture on here yet. Looks very much like the original MySpace. We'll close all that though. So yes, go walk dog, okie dokie. See you both shortly. I think. I mean, that's not a bad number. Maybe if I go by 4. Well, times by 5. Let's go times by 4. And see how it looks. That might scale better as a times by 4. Let's run the game and see how many bricks we generate. Yeah, that feels a bit better. It would make sense to times by 4 because you've got the four dimensions. Yeah, but we'll stick with that. I think let's scale this up once more and see how it looks. Ooh, excuse me. I think I'm drinking fizzy stuff. Large quantity of many parallel polylipids. Is that why a brick shape is a parallipids? I think that's a reasonable coverage. You can probably even go down a bit further than that. Oh, I've knocked that wall down as well. So if I then 3D rectangle base, cool. I do love shapes, like 3D shape names and, well, 2D shapes, 3D shapes. I kind of like shapes in general. Can never remember all of the names, but I love finding the names out though. So I'm thinking, but that's probably more bricks than that would be used to make this house, to be honest. Obviously, that area is a bit bigger. So what we should do, if we make this the same size of this, so we kind of like get an idea of how big it would be, and then judge whether the amount of bricks that generate is in keeping with the amount of bricks. Oh, that's conveniently the right size already on that way. So that is the area that it would cover. Let's bring this out here. That does look quite cool though. I like how it just spawns and they fall. It's not really the end result. I don't want them basically falling like that, but it's just easier for them to fall from a height so they kind of stack on top of each other, as opposed to trying to generate at the level I want them. And I'll turn off I'll put like moon gravity on them basically, rather than standard gravity, so they kind of float a little. Now, looking at that pile of bricks, there would not be enough bricks there to build that. It's close. I would say you could build most of that with the bricks there. Like if you gathered all of these bricks up to build just the house, I'd say you get a good portion of it. But we could easily go with a second layer of bricks. So what I want to do is to do the same again, but rather than telling it to generate bricks to cover the floor space, I want it to kind of shrink the space in and then generate the bricks again. So it's kind of like a pyramid. It steps up. Because realistically it would fall in on itself if a pile of bricks from a building happened to fall. So what we'll do that part of the code now. So that means yeah, once this is no longer true, so brick count is less than max brick count, we want it to then recalculate, well, we want it to recalculate the space it needs to cover, then recalculate what the max brick count is, and then set brick count back to 0, and then start the whole process again. So that's where this reduce zone comes in. So it needs to run no, go back to that. So you need to put an else in here. Else reduce the zone, reset brick count to 0, but in reduce zone I need to also recalculate the brick count That's the max bricks here. It needs to calculate the bricks, but rather than max, it needs to. So the XU, where's XU? Okay, so it needs to be XU and XL rather than this. So XU and XL. And then ZU and ZL, which to start off with is the same value, but running the reduce zone actually produces these numbers, which will then get a new width and depth, which will calculate that. So calc max bricks. So reduce the zone, calc max bricks again. and then set break count to 0, and then that will run again, and again and again and again. That's the only thing. It'll keep going. That will keep going until. But is it worth seeing what happens? We might crash it, so we can save it. I'll be interested to see what happens. We kind of want a catch in here, don't we? Because eventually this is going to go into minus figures, and it's going to go, nope, nope, you can't do that. It's got an error. Don't want the game to error, so we probably need to put a catch in here. So if xu is greater than 0, reduce xu. And then if xl, now this is a thing. This is the thing. Because it might be within the zone. Oh, this is going to be interesting because it might not be a positive number. Might not be a positive number. No, that's fine. It's fine. This is fine because it's not a minus. I don't want to reduce it. I don't want to minus it. I want to add. So if that is, I don't know what the if statement's going to be though. So let's forget this for the moment. It's going to be very hard to determine, but the upper needs to be reduced, the lower needs to be added. So it basically means the difference between the XU and the XL becomes smaller. Is basically what we're doing. And the same with the ZU and ZL, that needs to become a smaller difference. So minus from that, add to that. So when we get to this calculation, width is XU minus XL. That's the smaller number. But how do we determine? This much code is making me take 2d6 psychic damage. Yeah, I probably overcomplicated it, but the whole point of this silly little game that I'm making is to kind of test the boundaries of what I can do. And I may not ever want to do this again, but if I've done it once and I go, I want to be able to reduce an area of effect maybe. So doing this, I go, oh, I remember in that silly little game I made, I had a bit of code that reduced it, and I could look at that and go, hang on, I could have done that so much easier than I did then. Let's rewrite that and make it simpler. But I need to determine at what point do I stop reducing XU and stop increasing XL. I can't code for shit, this is just scaring me. It's all, if you break it down to different areas, like this one function here, you've got this single function called reduce zone. All it's doing is changing these 4 values. That's all that function's doing. It's just taking XU, whatever value zone reduction rate is. So whatever number that is, it's taking away from that number. Then whatever XL is, it's adding that number. Whatever ZU is, it's taking away that number. Whatever ZL is, it's adding that number. That's all it's doing. That one function does nothing but increase that, reduce that, and so forth. It's just mathematics. Most of this is mathematics. So here, width is equal to the upper number minus the lower number. So big number minus small number. is width. Depth is big number minus small number. MB is just rounding up what the width times the depth is, then all of that times by 4, and whatever the whole number is. Sort of ceiling, I don't know why they chose ceiling, but the ceiling of it, that the upper, rounding up to the next whole number, saving that as MB, and then chopping off the 0, the dot 0 at the end, the point at 0, by changing it into integer to make the max brick count. So again, this whole function here is just doing some sums, finding a single number at the end of it. All of this is just saving three numbers into one single container that holds 3 numbers, an x, a y and a z. That one contains 3 numbers, an x, a y and a z. So this one's just making that equal that, that equals that, that equals that. Again, maths. This is again just saying whatever this number is that number. Nothing too complicated going on here. There can be some complicated bits, but that's where you break it down. Like this bit here is just going, well, run that bit, run this bit, make that a 0. This one, whatever it is, add 1 to it. So plus plus means add 1. And that's just run that. Each individual bit of code is a tiny little thing it does. It's just how you put it together to make a big thing. So it looks like it's doing lots of complicated things, but it's just little bits of numbers changing. Like that one. Random number between whatever xu is and whatever xl is. Make a random number. Save it as x. Same here. Make a random number between whatever zu is and whatever zl is. Save it as z. It's all just changing numbers. But what I do need to work out is at what point do I stop changing these numbers? I need a cheat sheet, 3 flowcharts, 12 paint tabs to get to this point. You start off making a calculator and then you just work your way from there. Well, actually, you start off with just telling it to make a thing on the screen. Like the very basic, like my first program is obviously just print hello world on the screen. It's literally just kind of, well, in this case it's private void hello world. That's a function. Private means only this page of code can read it. Void means it has no, as a whole this has no value. So there's void value at the end of it. And we just go debug. Oh, it's log, isn't it? Debug.log. Hello world. So we have a single function that's private, so it can only be read on this page. Void because it has no value when it's finished. Runs the debug functions, the log function of the debug functions, and the log function just takes whatever you type in there and puts it on the screen. That is very much my first program. So once you can do that, you just move on from there. And the rest of it is just maths. So I don't want to reduce xu. So void is like return 0 of C#. Yeah, because C# doesn't have, like other languages I use is like Visual Basic. And in Visual Basic, you have to say, is it a subroutine or is it a function? But in C#, they're just all functions. Like a subroutine has no return by default. There's no return on a subroutine in Visual Basic. But a function always does have a return. So, like, welcome back. Like in Visual Basic, it would be function hello world. And then, oh, of course, it's changed it. Of course, it's not going to like it, so I'm not writing in Visual Basic, but then end function return 0. And just go, that function is int. Yeah, so it's squiggling it underneath it because I'm writing Visual Basic in C#. But yeah, in Visual Basic it'll be function hello world as an integer, return 0, end function. You're back. Welcome back, Lisa. Hey, Turtle. But in C# you don't write all that. You just go, rather than saying as int, you just go int rather than void. So you put int in there. But in Visual Basic you put it in there. And I think in Python you just put a return at the end. So Python, I think Python's even easier. I can't remember Python at the moment. But yeah, it's a return. I meant to like CPP because it's the only thing besides dreaded HTML and JavaScript. Oh, CPP, yeah. I've not written so much CPP. But yeah, CPP has got a similar idea. But there's just subtle differences. Once you know that difference, everything else is going to be pretty similar. Ah, you screwed up. Fuck, failed. Epic fail. So if XU is greater than XL, yay, you did it, congratulations. So if XU is greater than XL plus the reduction rate, I suppose, plus reduction. So if XU is greater than that plus that, then that's reasonable to say you could reduce it. If is that Patrick? So if XL is less than XU minus zone reduction rate, then increase XL. Do you see this? I love how it split him in two on the preview, yeah. It's kind of like, boof. He's, what was it? He's replicating through cell division. Some messages are not getting through. Bad Wi-Fi. Ah, okay. Patrick has learned mitosis and cannot be stopped. Oh, those are cool. Already lost the Mariah Carey All I Want for Christmas, by the way. Oh, no. Yeah, I already heard Mariah Carey last week. It was a cover. It depends on the rules of the game. Typically, covers are okay. Like Wham's Last Christmas. You can listen to all the covers you want. And typically, with Wham's Last Christmas, it's from December the 1st. I heard the Brain Rot version. I don't think I've heard Brain Rot version. Yeah, unfortunately my office at work had decided to start Christmas early. With obviously a reasonable understanding that most people have got a lot of December booked off work. Like, they go on vacation halfway through December. So I go, okay, if you want like a month of Christmas, we've got to start now. I heard the Slaughter Per Veil version. Ooh. I reckon that would be cool. Where Alex Turble sings it to his AK-47. Alright. That sounds kind of fun. ZU is greater than ZL plus the zone reduction rate. It's bad. It's so bad it's good. But it's just very, very bad. Yeah, I like things that are so bad they're good. Because you kind of cringe at the same time as going, you know what, I'm kind of digging this. Way better than... Oh yes, like Mariah Carey is full cringe for me anyway. And I just can't... Yeah. I understand she's got a good vocal range. I just rather she didn't get an opportunity to showcase it. This then is ZU plus zone reduction rate. Right, so this should protect it from inverting on itself. Ever seen Last Airbender? What, as in the anime or the original cartoon? Yes. I've not seen too many episodes, but I do enjoy it, yeah. The live action movie was okay as well, but certainly not great. Who your favourite? I don't know. I don't think I've seen enough of it to really have a favourite. I only really know the Blue People movie ruined Avatar for me. No, they made a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender. I only really know, is it Aang and Korra? That's the only two characters I actually remember the names of. The only person on the planet that's called it good. Yeah, I didn't say it was fantastic or anything. It was something I could watch. It's not something I would watch again. But yeah, any fan of the original cartoon wouldn't enjoy the live action. I did laugh at some point because it was bad. See, that's enjoyment. Like, I've not seen enough of the cartoon to see how bad the movie is. But my friend who's very much into the cartoon, we watched it together and he goes, "Oh no, they did that. Why did they do that? Oh no." I prefer it over the sound of music. Well, there's that. I also hate the live action series that released earlier this year. I don't think I've seen any of that. Really enjoy bad movies better than mediocre ones. Yeah, like there's a couple of my friends, my friend Ollie and Ashley, who did my logo redesign for me, and the Falling Bricks transition. Uh, we all like 80s action movies that are so bad they're good. Like, the acting is atrocious, but they're just big guys with muscles with machine guns shooting things, and it makes no sense, but it's funny to see. I've seen Sound of Music, I have. But yeah, there's some the horror. Yeah, yeah. We enjoy movies that are just silly. They're not supposed to be silly, but they just end up being silly. Like oh, what was it? There's like a set of ninja movies. Like, if it wasn't for like my friends pointing this out, um, but there's a set of movies by this one guy, like this martial artist guy, and he filmed a load of scenes. Like, he filmed a lot of stuff, but then used the same bits that he filmed for multiple movies. Like, he just filmed a lot of things and just took clips, certain clips, and just made a movie out of that. Then took some other clips and made another movie out of that. But then still took some clips from that were used in that movie and made another movie. And it doesn't make sense because they keep changing location. What series sounds about? Let's see if I can find it. It's like the dubbing as well is bad. Let's see if I can find it. Um, if I can't find it, I'll definitely post it in my Discord when I do. Let's see if I can find it. Ever heard of the genre Bruce plotation? I don't think I have. The thing is, the guy who's like a ninja in all these movies is like white. He's like a Caucasian American guy, but he just wanted to make a load of ninja movies. Let's see if I can find a. Oh, this might be it. This one of them. Yeah, I think I found the guy. American Ninja I think that's the one. It's like movies that were trying to cash in on the success of Bruce Lee without being able to actually make movies like Bruce Lee. So it's like C-grade kung fu, no real acting, and some random Bruce Lee lookalikes. Glorious. I shall have to check that out. That's kind of exactly what the sort of stuff we would get into. I think it's American Ninja is the... I think this is the one. Yeah, I think it. The series I'm thinking of is American Ninja because it's made several movies. I started to calculate walking to just before the end of a 90-minute interval, and I couldn't wake up easier. Oh, waking up. Okay. Started to calculate waking, so just before the end of a 90-minute interval, couldn't wake up. Yeah, I know. You're supposed to, your sleep cycle is supposed to be 90 minutes, isn't it? But it's hard to try and calculate that. The best thing is when you've got a I've taken mine off, but like a smartwatch that detects your sleep cycle, and if you tell it a rough time you want to wake up, like I can set my watch to say wake me up around this time, but it'll find the part of my sleep cycle earliest to that time. So if I said like 6 a.m. and my sleep cycle's coming to an end at 10 to 6, it wakes me up at 10 to 6. So I don't sleep in an extra 10 minutes and feel groggy. So it's quite clever that way. I think that's the only way you can do it. You have to have something monitoring you. I tried to watch Shaolin and Wu-Tang some time ago. It's like a movie that inspired by Wu-Tang Clan. Really old kung fu movie, but it didn't have the patience for it. Ah, that's fair. Don't have to wake up at the exact... okay. But you like the sound of music. I don't particularly like the sound of music. Like, it's an old movie. There's better old movies. Good, yeah. Waking up at the start of a sleep cycle's off. Oh yeah, that grogginess. That they refer to it as sleep inertia. It certainly feels awful when you do that. Yeah, I think it is the American Ninja series. Speaking of bad ninja action movies, I once at night saw this random movie about a guy fighting ninjas in a train. Oh. Quite gory. I remember one coming with a gun. And he took the gun away and said, no guns. Yeah, that sounds... continue to fight with swords. Yeah, I suppose that kind of... is it Lethal Ninja? American Samurai. Yeah, it kind of gets around why there's no guns in the sword fight. Yeah, I think I'll have to double check. But I think it's American Ninja. It's a series I was thinking of where they just chopped random bits together, and that like it doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you ignore that and just watch it for the fights, it's some kind of fun there. Since you said dubbing was bad, these American Ninja movies are American made. Yeah, but they probably try to make it, sort of it with a language difference on there. I'm pretty sure it's that anyway. Ninja fight in a train, no guns. Google gave me the movie instant. See if I can find it by that. See if I can find it based on. The Hunted. Okay. Is this? Oh, this might be it. Oh, that's annoying. Can I load the cached version? Let's see if this is the one I'm thinking of. There's another movie here that looks bad, and it's even listed as like bad ninja movies. Ah, is this it? Ninja the Protector. Just watching the trailer, see if it is the movie I thought. Yes, this is it. Yeah, Ninja the Protector. That's definitely one of the ones I've seen. Yeah, basically the guy who's the ninja in that movie, he's been made several other movies. The Hunted 1995, by the way. Cool. There's a lot of movies. I suppose yeah, it's quite a generic name. That's it. Jeffrey Ho is apparently the guy who made all these different movies. Oh, Godfrey, sorry, not Jeffrey. Godfrey. Godfrey Ho. I recognise that name. Yeah, it's not Jeffrey, sorry. Godfrey. Yeah. Yeah, so you look any ninja movies by Godfrey Ho. Apparently those are all the ones that are kind of the same, basically the same movie cut different ways. But yeah, they're definitely so bad they're good movies. Right, let's save this in case it crashes and hope for the best. You'll love Hunted 1995 as well. Awesome. I'll check that out. Well, you can see it's reduced the spawn sizing. Ah, okay. That's seems to have naturally done what I was expecting it to do. Like that is a pile of rubble. Let's have a look at that. Also watch Exit the Dragon, Enter the Tiger. That sounds familiar. But yeah, we love all those kind of movies. Yeah, my friend Ollie and Ashley will happily just sit there just laughing at how bad these movies are. Well, it's simultaneously enjoying the action and the violence and stuff because it's just so ridiculous. And some of the writing is just funny to hear as well. I'm quite happy with that. So what I will do then, I need to have a switch to kind of stop the looping process. So let's go private boolean gen bricks as true. Oh, I didn't need it as equals true. And put another if into here. So if gembricks, but I'll put all of this inside that. And then once we get to this point here, and we need to be able to turn it off again. So let's go int let's just go int c and just make that equal 0. So we're going to say if that, we go C++, and then go if c greater than 0. Well, actually no, let's go if c 0, genbricks equals false, because it's no longer reducing. Ever seen the Sharknado movies? I have not. I've always wanted to watch them because they look ridiculous as well. Well, it should be equals 0. I always figure that in C#. It's 2 equals signs. See them all. Are they good? Like, are they fun? Amazing. So there you go. If any of these trigger to say they need to be reduced, it adds 1 to the C, and if we find that none of them have been triggered, we just turn off the whole process. Let's go genbricks is false, which means this whole thing just stops calculating. It's wasting resources. So we're saving that. Minimize that. We'll come off the stream shortly, as I intended, but need to change the brick. Is it just the brick itself? Mass, there we go. Change that to a 1 so it's got a full mass. Seen them all, they're amazing. But yeah, they are on my list of movies I want to watch, just because those kind of movies you don't need to pay attention to the story. You don't need to go, oh, who's this guy? Is he like pivotal for the whole thing? Go, no, it's just someone who's probably going to get killed by a flying shark. I should get back into martial arts. I was actually quite good until my 20th, then I stopped. I can't lift my leg above my waist now. I did competitions. Oh wow, that's cool. Still falling a bit slow. Rusty as fuck. Yeah, so that's going to take way too long to... What I might do is, rather than stick it on the update, which means it's for every frame that gets written on the screen, it's generating a brick, which is quite slow, really. So what I might do is change that to just a loop. So for every split second, it produces one, so it should be quicker. But why is the angular drag? Okay, we'll just go 0 drag. So there's no drag at all. Save. So they should fall pretty quickly now. There we go. The bricks now have standard weight. rather than being floaty. They're not made of polystyrene anymore, they are just solid bricks. Nice. But yeah, I need to change it to a standard loop. Cool, okay. Let's change it to a standard loop. So that should still work on standard loop. So let's make a separate function. Private void brick gen loop, and then make it while gen brick, while gen bricks do that. Cannot use local variable function declared in top level statements in this context. Why not? What am I missing? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Ah, got too many brackets. There we go. We will then comment all of that out, so that's no longer functioning. And then put that in here. Need to do that to save it. So hopefully this doesn't suddenly crash. So let's save this as well. You like martial arts movies? I do. Yeah, I used to do a bit of martial arts myself. I got to blue belt in karate. I've got the certificate just on my wall there. And I stopped doing it with my... Ooh. That's what happens when they don't get a chance to they explode. That's kind of funny. I wasn't expecting it to explode, but it makes sense. Let's unpause it. Ever played the Shenmue games? I've not actually. I've never really played many martial arts games. I like the movies, never really played the games. Right, let's run that again. Let's see that explode. Boom. The bricks everywhere. The whole thing's exploded. Yeah. They are homage to martial art movies and very big games for its time. Like, so expensive to make that it's one of the reasons Sega went bankrupt. Oh wow! Like, I've heard of them, and I knew, like, sort of they had quite a following. I had like custom NPCs that react to the weather before GTA did in PS3. Oh wow! And all these games on older than PS2. So that's pretty clever stuff. How far it's thrown these bricks, look. It threw them over the hedge. Well, I think what I need to do with this then is to run several different loops. So rather than it all being in the one loop, so rather than all in this loop, the else needs to run and then come back into the loop. So it needs to kind of, I need to move it back into the fixed update. But the first round, then the loop again, then first round, then loop again. There needs to be a time between each round, rather than like gen, next, gen, next, gen, next. It was on Dreamcast, and the world did things like GTA was only able to do around GTA 4. But it being so ahead of its time is what killed it. Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of games that were ahead of their time either didn't get the appreciation, or they took so much to do it that it kind of was so expensive, which I suppose that's the case. It might be both cases. So realistic, you actually had to wait on the bus and need to have a day job to support yourself. Oh wow. I suppose if we go wild gem bricks and that, then you'll drop out, do this. Yeah, I'll have to have a think about that. We'll save that. We'll come back to it next week. But it's now 10:30 here in the UK, so I should really sign off, get some rest. Well, I'll think about how I'm going to stop the bricks from exploding, but still generate them quicker than before. Good night, thanks for the stream, thank you stream, epic as always, thank you Lisa, thank you Jeffrey, thank you Gila. And thank you anyone else who's been lurking. You're all awesome. I think it was cool, should have kept it. I would have kept it. I might have some kind of explosion of bricks. But it's kind of explodes as if you just put TNT. Oh, turtle. TNT right in the centre of the building. Which is cool in its own way, but it's not what I was intending. I want the building to collapse, not explode. I could use that effect for something else though. Maybe something in the future. I can have it blow up. But I know how to do it now at least. Just generate a load of bricks in a small area and just physics goes crazy. Have a good night. See you when I see you. Yeah, so no stream on Friday. No stream on Saturday. Although, again, if I do decide to do a Friday or Saturday stream, I'll let you know in my Discord. If not, back on Monday. Crash Bandicoot it is. In Sanity Beach. Yeah, if Stardew is ready, we can do Stardew. If not, Minecraft again. I'm quite happy with either. But we'll see if it's all working, everything's fine. But certainly no rush. But either way, either Stardew or Minecraft on Monday. And if I'm feeling up for it, maybe a stream on Friday or Saturday night. So I'll be posting, if that's the case. But thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Have a good night. Enjoy your week. And I shall see you next time. Have a good night. Good night.